Jer, aka Forward Progress.
And we're here, so I can herd, and so can you.
We want you.
Hopefully, Russ Knuckles doesn't beat us up for trying to take her shtick.
We'll see what happens.
So we're here to hopefully teach you how to start, or maybe run better, or just kind of learn how to run a successful Brony Meetup group, or Facebook group, or just general group.
So we'll take a moment, let you know who we are and why we feel that we can talk to you about such things. So,
certainly. So my name is Andrew Miller. My OC is Prim Planner. I've been an admin of this group. I don't know when it started, like 4 years ago, I think.
Something like that.
So sadly, our founder couldn't make it out here tonight, but or today. We'll get to her later.
You'll notice the woman in the front there, sir, not appearing in this panel. Caitlin there, this was her baby. We are from the Bronies of Southern Pennsylvania. She started this gig back in 2011. This was her baby, and we have come on to support in every way friendship and the magic therein.
Who are you?
I am invisible. No, I'm Chair, aka Forward Progress, or Jeremy. I've been in the group for about a year and a half or so, and I've been an admin since earlier this year.
Yep, we had a princess ceremony, and it was quite...
My coordination was wonderful.
And then Larson sadly didn't write the script, but it was still pretty great.
I'm sorry that my wings are a little busted right now.
Don't yet. So, like we said, Caitlin wasn't here. This is kind of her baby. She's a teacher, so she really sort of helps us sort of stick to the heart of the show and keeps us on track. So we were working on this project online, and this is kind of what it looked like without her input, helping sort of clean up. Saying we get distracted very easily, so
we like gifts.
Gifts are a lot of fun. So luckily, even though she wasn't here to help actually give the panel, she definitely helped out, keep us on track, and clean things up, and that was nice. So what we actually do, we kind of said it before, we're the Bronies of Southern Pennsylvania. We were established, we started around, I think, late 2011.
I believe it was December 2011, so we were coming up on our 4-year anniversary as a Brony group.
Yeah.
That's
pretty cool. And I guess we'll get into this as we move forward, but we started very small. We used to be Bronies of Millersville, which is a university where myself and Caitlin went, and just sort of expanded from there. And then we got a little bit bigger, and I lived in York, and it became Bronies of York and Lancaster. And then as we sort of popped up in other places, we got people from further and further out.
At this point, we have about 7 or 8 different counties in Pennsylvania that we have members from. We probably, from one end to the other, it could be a 3-hour drive. So we've garnered territory vastly.
Yes, we have gotten sort of being a non-city-based group. Because I know other groups that can just be in certain cities pretty well. We're pretty spread out, but
and in that 4 years, we've now reached 150 members and counting.
Just about, yeah.
Yay!
Cool. So at the top of all of this is really important. We're going to remind you multiple times because this is the most important thing about running, really in general about running any Brony things. Create a safe and supporting environment for all your members.
No matter what you do, this is the one thing you should take from this panel if you want to start up a group or have support one that you're already a part of. We really take very seriously kind of that unwritten rule of what it means to be a Brony of love and tolerate. It really breaks things down very simply. It's you're there to support one another and really to promote the values of magic and friendship. That's kind of what we do. Yeah,
and I know people always say that, thanks Katie, love and tolerate, and it might not, mean as much because you hear it all the time, but it's that idea that our group members talk about this a lot, like, you just create an environment where they can be themselves, like Bronies are, we're a little shy, we're kind of different, sometimes we're a little on the outside of things, and it's just nice to have a place, a group of people that you can just be you, and you can feel safe, and you can talk about what's troubling you, and be okay, not be scared that you're going to be, scorned or separated or left alone. Like, we all kind of want that connection, and you can, the first step of building this is you can create that environment. It doesn't really take a lot, and that kind of fits in, I guess, past the first lesson, which, like I said, you'll see again. We'll sum it up in a word. So.
All right.
So first sort of, I guess, second lesson is acorn becomes a tree. This is Caitlin's take on it because she's a tiny children teacher. But I had some little bit. Yeah, we do appreciate her input. But I had a little bit of something else in mind that may be a little bit more fitting to the crowd here. If people remember old 90s cartoons from Ed and Eddie. So yeah, acorn becomes a tree because, you know, you're gonna start small. When we started with the Millersville one, there was maybe like 7 of us in like a common area for an hour, and it was kind of awkward, and we just kind of played an episode. But, you know, but then a couple, you know, next week we do a little more, watch another episode, we're like doing coloring books, and now we have these like giant 30, 40 plus people meetups, like weekly meetups are bigger than ones we had then. And it's
semi-weekly meetups.
Mostly
like,
weekly meetups.
No, like every 2 days.
But it'll take time. If it's, you know, you gotta kind of commit to it and understand that, like, you know, for years we were really small. We weren't, you know, like, if we looked at what we had now, it'd boggle our minds. So like,
I think the bottom line is that for most people, you get scared. You get in that mindset of, oh my God, I'm the only brony around here. No one else is gonna understand me. I'm not gonna be able to round people up. I'm not gonna meet people. And you hear about other brony groups outside your area, but especially if you live in a smaller town, which for Millersville, that's just a small corner of Lancaster County in the southern part of Pennsylvania that most people from outside of Pennsylvania think of us as Amish territory, you know?
Or you talk with a Texas accent.
I wanted to be all, I don't know, because I'm crazy. Although I have had people ask me where the Amish are before. So, but yeah.
Breakfast near them sometimes and it's delicious.
Oh yeah, they're wonderful. But side point. But the bottom line is the thing is that you can't be afraid. You have to be able to take that first step. Like you have to just.
You just gotta.
Just get started.
Sorry. Shy's not famous anymore. We can't do that. Brony.
Yeah, Brony Con ruined Shia LaBeouf for us.
Ruined, but he's a little overplayed. But
we do love Brony Con, but we're not bringing that Shia LaBeouf to Cider Con.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
His phrase still stands. You gotta, you know, that's what Jeremy said. You gotta take the plunge. You just gotta get started. I really don't want to say it. It's like whatever.
Yeah, like it's like the dirty words. We don't want to say the words.
Even if the idea fits, and you know, like I said, maybe it'll be like just 2 of you or 3 of you, and it'll build up from that. You know,
yeah.
Friends are friends. There's only a few of us here, but this is still a really nice panel. We're glad you came out.
And you know, and here's the funny thing too, because we really had this panel completely done, and then the other week a little episode aired that had something that was absolutely perfect that we thought we wanted to share as part of this panel. So.
Maybe Pony can help elucidate the lesson.
Pony can always help us learn lessons. I think you're right, and I think I am just.
I understand that. It all makes perfect sense. Huh? I know why the Max called you here.
You do?
He tried to use your magic to fix the bar. It wouldn't have fixed the real problem, which is that these Manhattan ponies didn't think they had time to do something for their community. But by building that stage and making sure the play went on, you showed them that just by doing something small, you can make a big difference.
Well, I'll be.
So pretty much, and that's just it. It's start with something small. You can make a big difference. Just by, you know, when AJ decided that, hey, I can't do the big show and I can only do this small thing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Sometimes that really does make all the difference in the world. Because, especially for the person who says that I'm the only brony around here and I don't know anyone else, there's probably somebody else in your community who's thinking the exact same thing. If you can take that small step forward and put yourself out there, that person's going to appreciate it that much more and be, oh my goodness, I have somebody to connect with.
That's definitely what I had when I found the group. When it was very, very small, there's only like 5 of us. It's just sort of really nice to be able to go, oh, this is a friend I can have nearby. Like that's kind of what you have to think about it, even more so in those early days. It's like you're making friends. I know it's a pony meetup group, but like make the connections.
You know, and I've said it before, it was, when I found this group, I really took a step back and went, I found my people! My people are here! So, that's a fantastic feeling.
Yeah.
Big question now.
Sure, go for it.
Does this go for nearly everything?
What?
Like for creating groups and such?
Yeah, actually, we're gonna talk about this for starting out right now.
Yeah, we got all sorts of stuff.
So, yeah.
Keep your socks on.
So, again,
Before they get blown off.
like we said, just start. We really didn't want to use those words, did we?
Yeah, we made
really did.
March pushing panel before that burned down. We're like,
Yeah, but
whatever.
just get it going. Like, it's the biggest thing is you have to take the plunge. You have to do the step. Now, the other thing too is you don't have to go it alone. Now, some people you might be the only one you know. You may have to start by yourself, but once you get another person or two, it's important. Bring them on board with you. Tell them what you're thinking about. Invite and involve them in your plans.
That's essentially what happened to me. I just kind of got brought on, and just through generally like wanting to help out and make a difference and post things, I got started in there. And working as a team works a lot better than going alone, because then you feel like, oh, there's somebody who's got my back and I've got theirs, and it's the whole, the same thing with the community thing. It will help you out. It'll help you build bigger things if you're working together. One of the major things that will help out if you are like a smaller, like I'm the only Brony in the area, because 99 times out of 100, that's wrong. So we've had people, well, like I said, we've been around for 4 years, and there's people in the city that I live in who go, I didn't know there was a Brony group here. They just like come out of the woodwork. So
One time I was shopping in a store and my ringtone was Rainbow Dash saying it needs to be 20% cooler, and it went off and this guy just looks at me, he's like, is that Rainbow Dash? I'm like, hi new friend. It was a beautiful moment.
They're out there, and the way you can kind of, catch their attention, hopefully at least that's what we did, is, send a letter in the EQD. They'll push you on the roundup. You can put a little map marker down on their Meetup group map.
That
helped out a lot for us.
If you haven't already, check out Equestria Daily. They have a link to the Meetup map right on their homepage. See if something's already going on in your area or nearby. Having people to network with and to ask questions too. Like, for example, we kind of take up South Central PA for the most part, but there's groups in Philly, there's groups in Baltimore, and we've networked with them, we've talked with them, and it's one of those nice things that kind of helps us build up and look at how are other groups doing things so we can better what we are doing.
So that sort of bigger community.
But even for us, I remember when we emailed Equestria Daily about the 100th episode meetup we were doing, our group member count just shot up just from one little mention of one paragraph and one post on Equestria Daily. We got, like 6 or 7 new members just from that.
We got a lot of new people who didn't know the group was around, and now they have this wonderful network of friends.
Unfortunately, we don't have the budget to put billboards out there.
Yet.
One of these days.
Ready to move
But,
forward?
and commit to it. The other thing too is you might not get people right away, and it might be a little frustrating, but that doesn't mean stop trying right away. It took us 4 years to get to 150 people in this big territory. I mean, we feel very successful now, but it's not like it was always that easy. And like Andrew said, it was 4 or 5 people in a room feeling awkward for an hour.
Yeah.
You have to, starting small is okay. Just accept that you were working and building groundwork to make something great in the end.
To make something special that can really help people out. So, with that, I told you to be coming back. Comic Sans, oh yeah. Create a safe and supporting environment for all members. I'm going to say it every single time. This is really important. Like I said it before, testimonials. Almost everybody in the group goes, I love you guys because I feel safe and I feel like I can be myself and I don't have to worry about that. And some people in the group, like pretty much all of us, we have stressful lives. Things are happening all the time. And it's nice to have a little safe haven that you can go to talk to people. Like it's a very, we talk about this later, like you want to build, if you're doing it right, you're building a family essentially. When we have like big meetups,
it's like a family reunion.
It feels like a family reunion. There's the people you see on a normal basis, and then there's the people coming from further out. It's like, oh, cousin whatever, or uncle whatever, or aunt whatever. I haven't seen you in months. And it's just like everybody hangs out, and it's just, it's just really fun. It's a really nice, fun, supportive time. And that's made because everybody feels safe and okay together.
Yeah. So, obviously, the biggest thing you want to do with a meetup group is meet.
Yeah.
It's kind of why you make the group is to make those connections to meet in person. Because there's a ton of national and international Brony groups online, on Facebook and such. I'm part of a couple of them. And they'll have 10,000 people. But it's great to talk to people in Thailand, but you won't get to meet them all the time.
Yeah. Meeting, and we kind of had this when we started the group, like, meeting people in person is important because the moment you meet them, they're not just like words on a computer screen anymore. You're like, oh, I know this person, I know how they act, I can think about, like, you make that connection. And I think that really helps both, making connections and what actually, talking on the group, so it's not just another internet message board. Not that that's bad, but, we specifically sort of vet incoming members. It's like, if you're not in PA,
Why are
for
you?
you, why are you here? There's other meetup groups, not that we want to sort of, keep
We don't
people
want to
away,
exclude
but-
anybody, but we'd like to actually meet them.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
the point. It's that connection that they become. You go, oh,
Like,
that
you know-
person's a person. They exist. They have feelings and thoughts, and
We love to
they
make
matter.
allies and connect with them from other areas, and we definitely have. It's just that we keep our specific Southern Pennsylvania group page for Southern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, make it have a reason why it's locationally based because it's,
and really, case in point to this is the bottom center picture was actually a crossover meetup we did with our friends from Baltimore a
That was a
couple
lot
of
of
months
fun.
ago.
Yeah.
That was a ton of fun. When Z stole my glasses. But
that's so good.
I know.
So yeah, these are examples. Meetup we had, and the other key thing to notice that will come on later is that they don't all have to be based around doing something pony. Maybe in the beginning you kind of need that as the anchor, but like what? Let
You'll
me see.
notice only 2 of these meetups specifically were to watch Pony.
Explicitly, not that we didn't watch
Explicitly.
Pony and other things. It's not
Yeah,
that we should not have Pony out.
Yeah, the Baltimore crossover was picnic and just fun time. There was a scary movie meetup for Halloween, which we're only a couple weeks away from Nightmare Night. And our tacky sweater party that has become an annual thing for us.
Around Christmas time. But yeah, no, the only
Where
2
you
Pony
look the
ones.
same because you're just wearing your smooth cape in it.
Yeah.
How would I start out?
What?
How would I start?
Well, what do you want to do?
Where are you from?
Rogersville currently, but I was from Georgia when I moved up.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
I would say definitely the big thing is create a Facebook page.
Great group page.
Just, it can be as bare bones as you want it to be, just to make a group, label it, Rogersville or surrounding area or something like that, Bronies, meetup group, something along those lines. And send it into Equestria Daily as a general. I'm looking for, we're looking to find other Bronies around the area here. They will put it on their nightly roundup and get it out there, and that gets national attention. They get thousands upon thousands of hits it every day.
Yeah, pop in there, pop into other sort of like bigger, statewide groups. Pop in there, go, hey, is anybody around here? I have this group, like,
Yeah, I'd
get
say
the
the
word
other
out.
thing, look at the meetup map on Equestria Daily. Equestria Daily is your friend.
Yes, they are your ally.
They really do amazingly great stuff. We love them. And just get the word to them and look at their meetup map. See who's in your area too, because sometimes somebody might be on the outskirt of that group that can just join your group as well.
It's closer to you, yeah.
So I'd say those are a couple good things to get started. In the back.
I was going to add to his question. Don't be afraid to have it just be a work in progress.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you just want to go ahead and make your group page and then just slowly start adding members and working with them, maybe work on just a hangout thing at a mall.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then
Yes.
It'll just
Small
things from
meetups
there.
are great,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of what we do. We do a lot of smaller meetups, little movie nights at Andrew's place, or we've done one of them is a trip to Build-A-Bear at the mall that is pictured up there. So lots of little things like that is a great way to start out. You don't have to reach for the sky right away.
If you hear something from Rogersville,
Yeah,
Make sure.
we're gonna keep our eye on you for all the good things.
Respect, bruv.
Yeah.
Cool, so like we were kind of saying is that only 2 of 6 of those are actually related to us watching Pony. And that's kind of important to both meetups and beyond. There exists a world beyond Pony. Not to say you should exclude Pony. Pony's great. We're all here because of Pony. Pony, like, I love Pony. Pony this, Pony that.
Pony is
Pony life, yeah.
Pony's love, Pony is life.
Pony.
Well, while I will agree with that sentiment, the way that we've kind of looked at things is that Pony is the thread that brought you together. Now, I know this is going to sound like blasphemy, so don't stone me, but there will come a day when G4MLP is no longer on the air. I know.
Scary times. to think
It's
about.
going to happen eventually someday. But you can create an atmosphere in a group that can exist beyond that. These are just examples of other things that most of our group is into: Mad Max, Steven Universe.
We talk about, yeah, we've sort of, to an extent, we sort of expanded out just from Pony. And that helps, you know, sometimes that whole family thing is that some of our members have, you know, they've run on Pony, and that's fine. But, you know, they're still our friends, and that shouldn't stop them from being in the group. So it's nice to have other things going on there that they're going like, oh, hey, I watch Gravity Falls. Here's a set of people I know I can talk to it about, or Steven, or whatever you're into.
Like, just because you're a Brony group doesn't mean that you have to watch Pony every time you get together, or only talk about Pony on the thread. You can have other conversations that deepens your connection to each other and your friendship.
Yeah.
Question?
For example, I'm part of the Knoxville Brony group.
Ah!
Yay!
Hometown hero.
Our head, Rocco, owns a hotel on Pigeon Forge.
I think we heard about this, yeah.
Wow.
And we would branch out, and instead of just talking Pony, we'd have a couple ciders, and then, you know, we'd put up on the big screen, go Fortune, or you know, whatever is going on.
Yeah.
So,
There
hey,
are
this is
like normally
really cool.
4 different like groups. Like there's people watching, and then there's people playing a game in another corner.
Yeah.
And there's people
We
playing card
have
games.
the same.
Oh yeah.
That'll
Now
happen.
that we've gotten to the point where we have meetups where we'll have upwards of 40 or 50 people, there's usually
Multiple
like
rooms.
one set's playing.
We'll get to that.
Civic and
We've
all
got
that stuff.
stuff for that later. So,
Are you
well, I'm saying you're going to say that. So yeah, there's more than just both in actual meetups, and we'll say it later for an actual like a group page. There's more than Pony out there. You should do other things, and that helps sort of widen what you can do with meetups. Of like, you know, like just go and hang out at the mall. We did that sometimes, and it was really cool.
So a lot of what we've talked about has to do with leadership, because if you're going to start the group, you're pretty much looking to kind of get yourself into a leadership position, at least at the beginning. Now I'll say this too, just because you start it, if you don't want to be a leader of 150 people, that's really okay. You can start it and invite people or select people to come on and take leadership roles. That's actually how I got put in my position here, is that there was a point where we realized, hey, we're all adults now, and we need to have the ability to do our own thing and still have a balance. So I got brought on board, which is demonstrated by our lovely leadership tricourse here.
That kind of fits the other thing with leadership, which is one of the reasons we brought Jer on, is that you want a nice mix of who your leadership are. Should you work together? Yes. Should you always agree on everything? No. This is bad. The whole thing of having multiple people in the leadership is to make sure you're making, you know, good, solid decisions that everybody can sort of agree with, that works for everybody. I have a lot of dumb ideas. I'm just a logistics man. I plan things, I think about that. Sometimes there's little bits of humanity and I step on people's toes, and I can understand that, and that's kind of important to you know, pay attention to. So I have this guy, so I go, I have an idea. I'm gonna say words to him, and then he's gonna make them sound good.
Yeah, pretty much, this really is how it works. One of my favorite things that's ever happened is the fact that the day that you told me that you know that I'm going to make those little corrections and be right, so you have to go off and be angry for a moment and then come to me since you got your anger out. I love it.
It helps to have that, and you know, we have 3 before, but just sort of that people disagree with you and having a conversation about how we should do things. We're getting into that more as we get bigger and things are changing and going, what's the best direction? And it helps keep you from just choosing one thing and sticking to it.
Yeah.
Having other, you know, words in your ear helps you sort of go, oh, there's other people here, I need to make sure I pay attention to what they want, and it sort of helps shape the group.
An important thing I would say too is remember, you're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Feel free to admit it when you screw up.
Yes.
People really appreciate that if you actually come out as a leader and say, you know, I thought I was doing the right thing, or I was trying to do this, but I messed up, I'm sorry. People really appreciate that. You don't always have to pretend like you are the god of your Brony group.
Yeah, you're not the Wizard of Oz. You're not this giant sort of corporate face.
Yeah.
You're people. You know?
And the group may be your baby, but you're not the only person. Let everyone else be involved in the decision making. Take polls. Ask your members what they want to do, what kind of meetups they want, what kind of general thread ideas they have for the group page, etc., etc.
Yeah, listen to them. They're your group. They're part of you, like
You want to be
should be
friends.
connected.
So
you're the main speaker because you make things sound good. Is that it?
kind of.
What?
I try. I'm the diplomat.
Oh, you're the
yeah, I'm the diplomat.
Caitlin,
With my crazy
Sir
there.
Sire not appearing, the lovely lady in the banana costume that you can't see in the Groucho Marx glasses. Her being the teacher, yeah, she is very the humanity of just, making sure everybody's kept a part of things and make feel like they belong. Though, that being said, before we move on, because we said, listen to your members, is as leadership, even with Oz, there's a little space behind the curtain. There's not too much, but there should be a little of like we have a specific chat channel where we talk about what's going on in your group and plan things. And sometimes as leadership, your sort of ideas and goals about the group are different than the people inside of them. That shouldn't affect you too much, but you gotta make sure that sometimes someone needs to drive the boat, essentially. So.
Yep. So this is not about Pony. Is it alright?
That's fine.
Alright, so I'm part of an ROTC, a JROTC.
Okay.
And lots of people in my platoon usually do not want to listen to any high rank. How would I try to change that?
Well, I guess, we're coming sort of top down as the leadership is try to get the leadership to be more like the other members.
You're not an overlord, you're a first among equals.
Yeah. And it's our little quote here. Remember, you're a facilitator, not an overlord.
I would say, is it's a big thing for me in any leadership role that I've had, whether it be just personal or in the workforce, is people want to understand why they're being told what to do. So if you have somebody who's making decisions and they're just throwing it out there and just saying, do it, and nobody wants to listen, a lot of times what I find anyway, and this may or may not apply, but is that they just, if they knew what the purpose was or why this decision was made, they would understand a lot better. So I would say that's a little bit more, is maybe give a little more explanation, because a lot of people just don't want to blindly follow. They don't understand a lot of times why decisions are made.
Yeah, sometimes they don't see, and this is why I said there's the sort of space behind the curtain. They don't always see all the different facets that you're paying attention to as somebody trying to, organize something or put something together. So, but yeah, you want to sort of go, this is why we make these decisions. You want to, I know we sort of jokingly refer to ourselves as the princesses of the group, at the admins. We do a lot of silly dumb things. But
that's kind of a silly dumb thing in and of itself. We don't take it too seriously.
So, you kind of have to go, we're the people that essentially you guys chose, but have allowed to go, okay, we're going to drive the boat here. But that doesn't mean you stay sort of locked away and make all the decisions without them. You have to all be a part of the same thing, even if one person's sort of taking the helm.
Funny thing is, I was going to be starting a Facebook page about it recently.
Cool.
I'm working with some high-rankers that are more like, I want you to respect this person and not because of my rank.
Yeah.
That's
exactly. I think that's the main goal that we have in leadership in general out there. Because I think a lot of people get to leadership roles, and I see this especially in corporate America, not to diss corporate America, but from my experience, some people get into roles and they go, you should respect me just because of my title and my position, and automatically. And I feel like if you've reached a certain rank that you are entitled to a little bit of that, but you create your own respect. If you do not respect those and treat them well, you do not get the respect back too.
Yeah.
So.
Ready to move forward?
I think we'll do that. So we'll talk about running the group page itself.
So now that we've kind of gone past.
Oh, sorry. No, we got a question too.
Okay. Now, what are your experiences? You run your own group. Do you ever collab with other groups?
Yes, actually.
Yes.
I don't know if you got to see it. It's I have the ability to go back. So you'll actually see here that bottom center picture is a meetup that we did with Southern Pennsylvania and Baltimore. So we've started forming ally groups out there. It's one of those things we keep the page generally Southern Pennsylvania because the idea is it's constant meetup, but we do keep allies that we keep connected to through our personal Facebooks and other such channels. And we're trying to do more where we get out of our little shell, our little bubble, so to speak. I know we've been in talks with Philadelphia, for example. We're going to see Baltimore again in a week.
Yeah, they're probably playing up in our neck of the woods.
So we love doing that. actually, I would encourage that, because the other thing I mentioned earlier was, you never know, like your neighboring groups, they might have people on their outskirts, that's also your outskirts.
Or your inskirts.
Yeah, so inskirts. So, you know, you never know who you're going to meet and what collabs you're going to get that way, so.
Why do you say allies? It's not like there's going to be any opposing group.
I guess it's a good point. It's just, I don't know.
We have
It's
this
just
sort of
starting to develop.
we have this sort of a running gag.
We're
just because of
also,
the way
we're
we
also
mix-
giant nerds. So.
That too. There's a point we'll get to later.
One day you're going to be writing like a fiction of how there's an opposing force.
Well, no, because we have this sort of running joke from our expansion that we're always expanding new territory and sort of conquering it.
So we have that
So there's that sort of running, we made a joke.
It's not real. We're not really trying to conquer.
We're not really doing it. We had a really great one of our
was gonna say,
mascots
we're-
on a boat sailing across a map of Maryland or Pennsylvania, just said Manifest Destiny on it. So it's sort of a running gag.
One day I can
If
see
we were trying to
there
conquer,
being-
we're awfully benevolent conquerors, I must say.
Sure.
One day I can see there being like this gigantic merger.
I have
Ooh,
joked
that's-
that we were eventually going to become Bronies of Southern
What's the idea?
So,
Okay, so this is the Facebook group itself. I mean, we use Facebook group. I know other people use other things, but other Facebook, most people use Facebook. They're already there doing other things there. Make it easily accessible.
yeah, one of the big things with that is you can do just about everything. You can have a group page. You can designate a specific pin post for things like spoilers and such. You can make events right on there that you can invite everyone that's already in the group to. There's a lot of convenient things about Facebook. We have no problem with other social media. It's just what we used and it works for us, so that's the only reason we talk about it. In the back.
Just gonna let you know, problem we've run into with the Facebook group page, when you reach more than 500 members, you can no longer invite an entire group to an event.
We're not
That's
closing
good
that
to
problem,
know.
but that's good to know for the future.
That's very good to know for the future. I'm very happy that you are here, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
we just ran into that with the Knoxville Bronies. We created events right after we've hit up 500 members. When we go to invite, it doesn't invite anybody. You have to hand select and pick each person.
Ooh.
We've already had some weirdness of like, you can't invite people that got
Into
entered the group
after you
made
created the event page.
There's some weirdness with Facebook, but
It's not perfect, unfortunately. I do not have Mark Zuckerberg's cell phone number.
Yeah,
So we would love to be able to get this feedback to him somehow, maybe someday. I'm sure that's wood underneath me. We'll be able to get these messages to Facebook somehow, or maybe there'll be a new social media site. You never know. Like, we're open to adaptation.
Yeah.
Definitely. If something better comes along, we can use it. Great. We'll promote the heck out of it.
If you could, you should be I am a webmaster to make websites.
I wish I was better at HTML
I could do it.
and other things.
I'm a web developer. The one thing that I've thought about that besides figuring out posting all that is the whole, people are already on Facebook. Most people already do something on Facebook. So like, I'm on Facebook looking at my friends post on the wall. Oh my gosh.
I'll say, I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea. I think we have to flesh out it from the logistical side more.
I can make you like a very bare bones basic.
Yeah, no, I could. I'm a web developer. That's what I do for my work. So it's just more.
Why do I never think of such things about what you do?
We've thought about it before, but the thing is that you got to remember to go to that website. I know other things I've tried to do. It's like when you have a separate website and a separate account, you don't think about it because it's like I'd only go there for the pony group. What if I don't remember it about for a week? Facebook, you're usually there. You know, it's just sort of that I'm already here. I might as well look at this sort of mentality of it.
But, you know, again, like we said, we could be open to adapting.
Yeah,
You never know.
there's no way this is like the one way to do it. It's just sort of what we found.
Yeah.
For
What we're going to talk about is what has worked. If we haven't done it yet, I don't want to speak to yes, this works, or no, that wouldn't work. So another thing too about running the group, make rules.
Have rules. Have specifically posted rules.
Now, again, like you see on the slide there, you're just running a pony fan group. You're not the police of the world. You're not the police of the Brony community. But you do want to follow that number one important rule of promoting that safe and protective environment for your members. So create a short list of rules that pretty much sum up what you want to be.
It's like a mission statement almost, in a way.
And actually, I'm going to go forward and then go back. Oh, maybe.
Just
Okay.
add that in there.
Yeah. So these are our rules, for example. Very simple. That first one I think is the most important thing of all. Don't be a jerk. It it's kind of another way of saying love and tolerate, but don't be a jerk.
In a way, yeah. Don't be a heartless jerk.
We have one up there about not posting NSFW content on ours. We actually have a separate section for 18 plus. That's an invite only. We do that because we have members that are as young as 15.
We have people who don't want to see that, and we have people
Actually,
who do.
I'm sorry, we have members as young as 1 month.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of our members just had a baby last month, so hi Z, hi Jamie. So we try to keep it quote unquote family friendly.
Yeah.
You know, like we're not keeping it super G, but at the same token, we're not posting co-op to the main page. We're not posting, you know,
sort of
grim dark fanfic.
Yeah, you kind of have to feel out what people are comfortable with and sort of set that.
Yeah.
Here's the main thing.
Yeah.
You know, 18 plus things people sometimes feel weird about because it's all creating a safe environment. If people want that, that's why you have the second group for that stuff. Because some people want that. That's fine.
The other thing that we try to keep to is the sense of this is Facebook. You have your personal wall and then you have the group page. There are some things that are probably more appropriate for your personal wall. If you want to go on a political rant, feel free to do so on your personal page.
Not the group.
It may not be the most appropriate thing for the Brony group. Not that, you know, we welcome people of all thought processes, religions, beliefs, political ideologies. You know, that it's again about that creating that safe, supportive environment. We just, you know, there's a time and a place for everything. I believe Dr. Edwards from the Brony Psychologist one time described it as there should be a door for certain things.
If only all governments were like this, well, there would be no war.
Thank you.
We're very close to DC. We might be meeting up with them soon.
Okay. So, again, off-topic discussions are okay. We talked about that earlier. Spoilers is another big one, and this is one of those things that we wish that we could talk to the Facebook about. An ability to make specific spoiler threads. Now, what we do, if you use Facebook, you'll notice that there's a pinned post option on your group page. If you do that, it will not show the comments.
Yeah, because some people like this guy go nuts. It's like something's leaked, I'm on it. Oh, stuff from Comic-Con, put that in my eyeballs. I want to look at it right now. And some people are like, I don't want to know anything about the episode until it's at my eyeballs and I'm watching it. And some people are very particular about that, which again is fine.
We
That's
are
cool.
a fandom where the product that we love is something that airs on a network that probably at least half of us don't have.
Probably more than that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, don't watch it live, and they watch it on stream or all sorts of stuff. So they get to
either
it when they
people
can.
stream it or they find it later, and we're not encouraging such things, by the way. I have, Rob. We all wish we got Discovery Family. Unfortunately, we don't all get Discovery Family, so a lot of times people have to watch it later, or maybe have a meetup with a friend who has the network that DVR the episode, or something like that. So, and I think the only one up there is about being in the area, which we discussed earlier. So, we'll go back here.
Go back.
Yep.
So one of the other thing I know we just said that the 18 plus group is don't have other Facebook groups for off-topic discussion.
We don't really, well, personally, we don't really see the need necessarily, with the exception of the 18 plus thing.
Yeah.
The 18 plus thing makes a lot of sense because there's that door. You should have to knock on the door and open it in order to see such things, and I'm gonna break my mic. But the idea here, I don't know if anybody gets the joke,
because I didn't.
No splinter groups.
This is what I
That was a Caitlin joke.
She's a teacher for
So
it's cute.
it's adorable.
So yeah, it helps, you know, once you start making these other groups separate from your group, then you have smaller subsets of people, making smaller subsets of connections, and then you come back and you're going, oh, you weren't in that group, we did the thing, like, it.
The idea is to unite, not separate.
Yeah.
So, allow off-topic discussions on your thread. There's a world outside Pony, like we said earlier.
Cool, number one rule, we already know.
Oh,
Very
okay.
safe and supporting environment, all members. Move on.
That one didn't even fit on the screen. So, so dealing with opinions. Again, like we said, you're gonna have moments where some people just do not agree on things.
Or you're not going to agree with somebody, or they're going to get under your skin just because that's the kind of person they are. Not intentionally, just that's what they are. And so this is sort of half. If you see an argument forming that's going to get kind of negative and mean, step in, try to cool it down. Sometimes people will butt up against you. Sometimes there's people in your group you don't really like that much.
At the end of the day, I have a motto in another project that I run, and it's, we need more discussion and less arguments. When you're getting into a conversation, look back in yourself and think, am I trying to find a real solution, or am I just trying to prove that I'm right?
I'm guilty of that occasionally. So
that's why
sometimes you need that ability to just sort of step away and go, this is fine, this is just me getting sort of riled up and being able to, because then once you dive in, once the admin princess dives in, then things start building up, and you don't need that. You should be
going down.
The whole facilitator thing. You should be helping out. You should be sort of moving forward.
It's about solutions, not who's right and who's wrong.
And occasionally arguments will happen. You're bronies. Things sometimes get a little intense when you bring up who best pony is. You know that. You probably.
I'm just playing. You know.
Exactly, right there.
See, and that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like we can just play like that, but not everybody can.
Nerds are particular about things. So you kind of sometimes have to be that ability to sort of step away. Yeah.
So the meetups themselves, planning a meetup, be flexible. This is crucial. The group has a lot of variety if you get a lot of different members. For example, there's 5 of us in this room that are part of our group, and we all are from a different area with different mindsets on different things. We all have different tastes.
We have different working hours, and conditions.
Yeah. And it's very important, make sure that you split things up so that you can accommodate different things. If some people might like bowling, and some people might not. Some people might just want to crash and watch movies at somebody's house.
And some people don't. Some people are just going to show up at pony meetups, and that's fine.
It's all fine. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just make sure that you have a, I want to say menagerie, so to speak.
Myriad.
Not saying that you have to do.
Myriad.
Myriad is good.
A Picasso painting of options. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, so, but you have to keep in mind too, you can't always plan this big epic adventure where you're all going to go paintballing and rock climbing. People have to get there. They have to pay for it. They have different tastes and opinions.
Sometimes they don't want to do it.
I'm not saying I love paintball and rock climbing, by the way. I want to do that all the time. My check banking account, on the other hand, does not want me to do that. So yeah. So that's something to keep in mind is, not everybody's got the money to always do that. It's great to have, one of my favorite things is the movie nights we do, because literally it's show up, bring a couple bucks, we'll order some pizza, done.
Watch some movies, have some friends, have a good time. It's great.
So the other thing we would include is that online events are also a way to do a meetup. We have a semi-weekly event called a Rumpus, which is our lovely Rumpus dancing fruits there.
Yeah, the fruits that I have wholesale stolen from Homestuck.
I never knew where you stole it.
I stole them
You
from
guys
Homestuck.
use Skype?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Now, sometimes we love it, sometimes we hate it.
Yes.
It's never a true rumpus until Andrew's internet connection knocks us out of Skype.
So, yeah. Before we move on, something with scheduling and being flexible, I had this later, but it fits now, is this the art of the dress lesson is that, if you try to please every pony, you're probably going to screw things up and get disappointed in, other people and yourself.
Yep.
Sometimes meetups aren't going to work for people. Sometimes you can't please somebody every time. We've gotten big enough. We have a little bit of a peanut gallery that's very particular about certain things. And that's okay. And you can't always please everybody, because if you try to do that, it's not going to work. You're going to get really angry. You're going to go, why can't I plan this? These things don't work. You can't always plan a meetup that everybody can make it to. People work at different times. It's the whole we said. It's the whole be flexible thing.
Yep.
Not every meetup is the only meetup you're ever going to have forever and always. You'll have more meetups in the future. Sometimes some people can't make it, and there's a point where you have to just go, that's okay, I'm sorry. You'll have to make it to the next one.
The other thing, I don't know if we have it on the slide or not, but you're not the only one who can plan meetups.
Yes.
Let your group members plan meetups. Everybody has the right to hang out with friends. You don't have to be like the meetup Nazi about it.
Yes.
If people just want to have a small gathering, that's fine. If people want to make it a big group invited meetup, that's also.
Do it.
We said we weren't going to use those words. You broke the fourth wall, Andrew.
I broke the pinky promise.
So, I know. Okay, so
Jeez, I keep forgetting why we put that in there.
we put it in there because of Spike. We want to be inclusive but not invasive. Some people are a line of wallflowers and outcasts, but you want to be able to include them. So we made Spike a pimp. Because everybody needs their moment to feel like they're somebody, even if it's with a stogie and some pimp juice.
So kind of with that is that, yeah, like I said earlier, a lot of bronies are kind of shy and take time to get out of their shells. I've had people that come to bigger meetups or movie nights that are a lot more like individual. We sort of have a normal crew that go to those, and they come in, they sit in the back, they don't say a single word, and then they leave, and I go, oh, what have I done? They've had an awful time. And then they're going, that was one of the best times I've had. I'm so happy to have all these new friends. And I'm like, oh, be friendly. That's the whole invasive part. Be friendly. Introduce yourself. Like, try to get them involved a little bit. But sometimes you don't have to push too hard, and sometimes them not really saying much doesn't mean they had a bad time. You should still check in with them, because sometimes it does, but, bronies take time to get out of their shells. We've had members, like I said, in big meetups did not say a word, and now they're regulars. I see them like every week, and they get, they know everybody, and it's really great. So
other idea is if you get to the point where you have those giant meetups where you have 40 or 50 people, we'll do little silly name tags and have we do a pass the plushie game where when you get the plushie you introduce yourself and
who's your favorite pony?
Who's your favorite pony? Tell crazy facts about yourself. Do somersaults in the middle. No.
Somebody do a. I don't remember.
Doesn't matter.
It's, when you do get a little bit bigger and you have sort of like, these are the people who are regulars that know everybody and these are the new people, it's good to have those icebreakers to get everybody talking. We had a little cool thing we did with the Baltimore people we've used again, is just put a bunch of pony names on index cards and we just play Who Am I? So you have your little pony thing, you hold it to your hand, you just go around and ask
yes or no questions
about
figure out which pony you want. It's actually a lot of fun. It's tons of fun.
And it's just a really good way to go, oh, cool, these people, we all love the same thing, we're all friends, and we can all, talking is easy.
50 cents at the local Walmart to buy index cards, and you're set to make a fun game.
Super fun icebreaker.
And then make little traditions, be silly.
Yes.
We are ridiculously silly
We're
and
really
fun.
dumb, and it's glorious.
We do a tradition we call our smooze juice toast. OG smooze from G1.
It's purple.
It's covered in bulldog green.
Right.
But we do love G4 smooze.
G4 smooze is pretty cool.
Yeah, and on the topic of that too, respect former generations.
No, that's later.
Well, we'll throw it out and we'll add it in later.
But yeah, it's important. Some people are OGs from the way back and will get really nipped if you talk ill of G1. And old stuff.
G1's pretty metal.
G1's pretty good, but we'll get to that.
So, and just figure out what makes your group special. This is actually our smooth juice toast.
This is actually at the...
This was for my coronation.
This is your coronation. This is princess.
Check out my cadence crown, yo.
Yes?
I'm gonna go.
Okay,
that's fine.
No. Thank you for coming, man.
Thanks for coming, dude.
So again, number one important lesson, create that safe and supporting environment for your members. Cannot stress this enough.
Okay, there's one final rule though, but this is just some miscellaneous ones.
Have fun, you idiot!
You're going to group about liking cartoon horses, and I'm not saying that should mean you don't do anything serious or important, but at the end of the day, this isn't a business. You're in a group of friends.
Just don't overthink it.
For these toasts, I'm not wearing it out. I have a blanket to be the smooth covered in googly eyes and paint. We're wearing freaking crowns I bought from Five Below with the princess things and cards that I taped onto them. We're pretending this is this big thing.
Yeah, literally one of my most prized possessions, and it's put on with tape.
It's dumb. Have fun. Have a good time. Do silly things. It shouldn't be very cut and drawn and businessy. Be friends. Don't overthink things. At the end of the day, just go, I'm going to be friendly, and hopefully they'll be friendly, and we'll have a good time.
You got it.
Don't separate things.
So, we just had a miscellaneous slide.
Just
because
to make
we
sure
just wanted to have fun, because
things.
Celestia loves cake.
It's actually a cream-filled donut.
So,
we'll just go back. So we were saying...
respect the former generations, like we said. Maybe except for that.
3.5 exceptions.
We understand.
It's real bad.
But remember that G1 T-Rex was metal as hell. It was serious. No, G4 T-Rex was...
It's pretty cool. You got some irons.
The bomb diggity.
Yeah.
But there's some respect for former generations.
Yeah, so we kind of want to make a point about that one because we've seen sort of, the people who've been around since G1 coming into our group and just sort of going other Brony groups speak ill of
Very
G1
ill.
and disrespect it a lot, and that really kind of hurts their
And
feelings.
we do understand too, G4 is a totally new take and everything, and it's part of why we love it. But there were people who still love the classics, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Respect each other's opinions.
Respect your ancestors.
So,
Yeah,
go
well,
forth and herd!
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Cool.
Huzzah. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
And cut.